Hello and welcome back to the Bright Light Wellness YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. I am so glad that you are here with me today to chat about the most optimal diet for us to be eating. And I think this is such a great question. And I think that honestly, we over focus on diet and we think it's the most important aspect of health when honestly, diet's like one of the last things on my list when I work with clients to work on, because there are so many things that I think are more important than optimizing our diet and our nutrition. And it's not that I don't hold nutrition and diet important, but there are many other aspects of your health that probably we need to focus on that we just don't even realize are affecting us. Like, what is your non-native EMF exposure? What is your artificial light exposure? What is your sunlight exposure? How are your circadian rhythms? I mean, honestly, I always start with circadian rhythms, light environment, non-native EMFs, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all of that, wearables, artificial light exposure. Then I think about like relationships. I think about, using homeopathy. There are so many other things I can go to. Sunlight as medicine, but diet is important. And I know that everybody's like wants to know, like, what is the most optimal diet for me? What should I be eating to support my health? And honestly, when clients ask me that question, the first question that I ask them back is, well, where do you live? Because where you live should dictate the diet that you are eating. And this is not talked about really from other nutritionists, other people in the diet world. They're all thinking, okay, I'm want to do this. I'm going to do this diet like keto or carnivore or this protocol or, autoimmune protocol or blah, 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 blah. All these like specific diets, right? They want to focus on a certain diet plan, Whole30. I mean, I think a lot of people see benefits from these diets. Number one is that they're moving from processed food to whole food, which of course is a win, right? We want to not eat processed food. That's not even food, in my opinion. If it comes in a package or a box, we want to eliminate that from our diet and our life. But I think that's why a lot of people see benefits from these specific diets, right? So what I teach my clients is not about a specific diet. It's about matching your diet with the light exposure that you are exposed to, the sunlight exposure that you're exposed to, because our gut microbiome is actually meant to shift with the seasons. So your diet that you are eating in the summer should look very different from the diet that you're eating in the winter, because what's available to grow in your region is going to be different, right? So we are so used to our modern conveniences. Like, we can just go to the grocery store, we can get whatever we want whenever we want it. I can get a pineapple in December in New York, right? And unless you live in an equatorial region, pineapples don't grow here. If you live in an equatorial region, yeah, pineapples grow. You don't really have this issue. Your light exposure is stable, like your sunlight exposure is stable, your circadian biology will be more stable, and your gut microbiome is not shifting as much because of that, okay? But because we in either northern latitudes or very strong southern latitudes, we have seasons, and we are meant to shift with those seasons. And the food that we consume should also shift, because again, your gut microbiome will shift based on the light exposure or sunlight exposure that you get. So in summer, our gut microbiome is actually going to make specific beneficial bacteria that will help your body digest, absorb, and utilize simple sugars. It will be expecting simple sugars like honey, raw honey, maple syrup, juicy fruits like watermelon. And then the sunlight will actually help your body deplete that. Excess glucose and all the infrared and all the time you're spending outside in the sun, hopefully, will help your gut microbiome utilize that glucose and move it through your system in a healthy manner. But in wintertime, we don't have this strong light stimulus. We lose UVB light, which is how we deplete glucose from the liver. We also have infrared also does it too. And we lose the ability of like sweating to sweat out deuterium. Like, it's different. Wintertime is different. And wintertime, we're not exposed to strong UVB light. Our gut microbiomes are not expecting simple sugars. They're not expecting heaps of raw honey and pineapples and mangoes, because they don't grow here. So our gut microbiome is not expecting that, number one. And it's wintertime, so they're expecting winter foods. And think about like through millennium, like obviously I'm talking about eating a seasonal, local, ancestral diet. That is a diet that I advocate for. And that again depends on where you live and the season that you're currently in. That should dictate the diet that you're going to eat. But think about it, like before grocery stores and shipping food, which honestly is a whole nother ballgame, because when you ship the food, it's not as healthy for you, because like an apple is the healthiest when you pick it right off of your tree and eat it. That's what has the most vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and the most light, and the most hydration, cellular hydration. That's when it's the healthiest, right? That apple was from all the way from Washington, and I live in New York. It's not going to be as healthy for me. Like it's not going to contain as much of the nutrients in it. And then, of course, it's sitting under artificial light in a food store. Like there's so many other things, right? The whole process, like it's literally lost its life on its journey from one place to the next. Like it has less life in it. Okay. So anyway, my point is that a couple hundred years ago, before grocery stores existed, nobody would have had to teach anybody to eat a local, ancestral, seasonal diet, because it was all that existed. Because you could only eat what was available in your area, right? You could only eat what you grew, or what your neighbor grew, or the guy down the road grew, right? So you weren't eating bananas in December in New York, because it wasn't even a possibility. It didn't exist, right? So instead of thinking of like, oh, I want to eat this food because I want to get this nutrition from this, or blah, 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 shift your focus on thinking about what grows in my latitude, what grows in my region, and how that's supporting me. Okay. Not only are you supporting your own health, but you're supporting local regenerative farmers, and you're supporting local economy, and you're supporting the health of the whole ecosystem. Okay. But anyway, seasonal and local eating will be more supportive to your biology, your circadian biology. It will help align not only your circadian rhythm, but your circannual rhythms, which is like the rhythm of the seasons. Okay. And it will support you at a mitochondrial and a cellular level, because food is basically just an energetic barcode. So food contains the light information in it. And when you're eating a mango that grew in, I don't know, Mexico, and you eat it in New York in January, number one, it's going to confuse your mitochondria, because it's going to give your body a strong UV light barcode. So it's going to tell your body, oh, there's so much UV light in the area, right? Because you're eating actually light. You're eating condensed light when you eat food. It's a form of light. But then outside, you're not exposed to any strong UVB light, because that doesn't grow in this area, right? That doesn't exist in your area at this time. That is a very confusing message to your body. And it's what we call circadian mismatch. It's a confusing message. Okay. Also, your glucose response will be completely different in the summer versus winter, whether that food is seasonal or not, because sunlight actually helps us deplete glucose. UVB light, also infrared light, and being outside in nature all help us like regulate our glucose metabolism. So your response is going to be much different, because you're going to be eating those fruits inside under artificial environment, likely because we're in the indoor more in winter, right? So I hope I'm just giving you some ideas. I hope I'm kind of like triggering your curiosity about diet, and shifting that it's not really about just about what we eat, whether it's carnivore. Like we should not be carnivore all year round. I don't think that's healthy. We should not be keto all year round. I don't think that's healthy. And I don't think we should be, whatever, autoimmune protocol all the time. Like our diet should shift and change. Just like I think a stool test is a waste of money, because your poop is going to change with the seasons also. So that's my thoughts on that. I wanted to give you some perspective and some ideas around it. I definitely am a very big proponent of a seasonal, local, ancestral diet, because we want to get back to the way we eating the way we used to before chronic disease existed. When we ate seasonal, local, ancestral diets, chronic disease did not exist. Okay. Yes, we had famines. Yes, we have other issues, but we did not have chronic disease from eating local, seasonal, ancestral foods. Okay. So I want to shift your focus to that. And then I want you to know that eating a local, seasonal, ancestral diet is what is optimal for your mitochondria health, your circadian biology, and your overall health and well-being. Okay, your metabolism, your hormones, all the things. So I just want to shift your focus on that a little bit and really help you maybe make some shifts in your life to try to focus on eating more seasonal and local. Okay, look for local farmers in your area that you can support. Okay, try to pay attention to what's growing in your area and think, oh, does a banana grow where I live? Does a mango grow where I live? Does kiwis grow? And maybe not eat those. What is growing? Oh, it's apple season. Oh, it's pumpkin season. Oh, it's watermelon season. Eat those. Okay. Of course, shift to whole foods if you're already not, because packaged and processed foods is not food. So anyway, if you want more support around all these topics, I have lots of offerings. Number one, I have a seasonal ancestral diets basic plan. It's a low-cost buying that you can grab, and it will teach you the basic fundamentals of how to implement a seasonal, local, ancestral diet. Then I also am creating, right now I'm in the process, maybe it'll be done by the time I send this video out, but it is an ancestrally and seasonally nourished recipe ebook and webinar. So it'll teach you how to, it will teach you how to implement a seasonal local diet. And then it'll also give you lots of recipes and tell you what season to eat those recipes in. So if it's like, you know, cranberry sauce, we're going to eat that in fall or whatever, right? Like it's going to let you know when to eat that recipe. And then I also have personalized healthcare plans, which is a pretty incredible offering because I go a lot into circadian biology there. And I also go a lot into using sunlight as medicine. And then I also go a lot into diet and how to use food as a healing modality. And I write you a plan for the summer and the winter. So you're going to get a summer plan and a winter plan, and the diets will be completely different. And I will teach you how and when to shift between those diet plans. And then of course I teach you how to, you know, shift your sunlight availability and all other things as well, but that's a big part of it. So, and then I also have, of course, one-to-one coaching, which you can book in with as well. So all of these ways to work with me are a great way to support your circadian biology and to learn the most optimal diet for you. And the nice thing about eating a seasonal, local, ancestral diet is you shift with the seasons, which is actually, I think, really fun. I'm like, oh, it's apple season, or oh, it's, you know, arugula is back out, or like, and I grow a lot of my own food now, right? So I'm trying to grow my own food as well. But you also like have a plan for life. You don't have to shift in and out of like nonsense diet plans that, or fall into some sort of like diet dogma that actually is not helpful, like keto or carnivore or autoimmune or low oxalate and low histamine. Like, no, you just like shift with the seasons and like everything falls into place. So anyway, I hope this was a long ramble, but I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it was supportive to you and you are interested in learning more about how to implement a seasonal, local, ancestral diet. And just, I hope you learned a little bit about how it's supportive to your health. We want to be giving our body the correct circadian signals when it comes to light, when it comes to meal timing, but also what we eat. And yeah, you know, that is important. Like if I'm eating tropical fruit in the middle of winter, this is a circadian mismatch. It is going to confuse my biology at its core and tell my body, I'm sending my body so much dense light information that it doesn't need, and then it's going to shift certain repair processes actually. So it will shift my cortisol melatonin patterns and it will shunt certain repair processes that should happen in winter. That's a little bit more of an in-depth conversation, but it's an important one. And then also the other thing that I when I work with clients one-on-one with is I also look at their metabolic flexibility. So that means, are they able to burn both fats and glucose for fuel? And most of us burn glucose for fuel, but can they also burn fats for fuel? Can they burn their own body fat? Because that will let me know where they're at with, if they have this metabolic flexibility, how much we can push things around a little bit, because we do want to have this metabolic flexibility where we can burn both sugar or glucose and fat for fuel. Because when we burn fat for fuel, we're actually creating more energy. We get 4 times more energy, and we're actually turning on some more repair processes that should happen, right? We don't want to always be burning just glucose or be just sugar burners, because that definitely leads to some health issues down the line, and metabolism issues and other issues that I'm not going to go into. But I teach my clients how to gain metabolic flexibility and burn both fats and carbs for fuel. And I know I can tell by your symptoms if you're capable of this. So if you can go long periods of time without eating, or if you get symptoms when you don't eat, or if you have to snack all the time, like all these things, let me know if you're, and also like hormonal symptoms, there's lots of other things, right? So that's another aspect of when I work with clients one-to-one, how I'm supporting them and helping them be a little bit more metabolically flexible, so they can burn their own fat for fuel and actually do some more regeneration and repair. And a lot of people can struggle with that because we're so used to being glucose sugar burners. All right, this video turned out longer than I expected. I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if you have any further questions. Let me know in the comments below. If you need me, you can reach me at contact@Bright Light Wellness Coach to ask questions about any of my offerings. But I'm looking forward to supporting you guys. And if you just want to start somewhere basic, get the basics plan, the webinar, the Ancestral Seasonal Diets Basic webinar, and you could learn a little bit. And then if you want to dive deeper, get the personalized healthcare plan or the one-to-one coaching. And yeah, I'm here to support you guys. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know your questions. Let me know what else you want me to talk to you guys about on this YouTube channel, because I'm more than happy to share things with you guys. So you ask questions and that gives me an idea for another topic to share about. So have an awesome day, and I will chat with you soon.